Hi everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to introduce what you need to do for this week. So in week 11, we're going to study about governance issues in college sport. Last lectures, we spent time to talk about how we could develop a good policy in organization. We also talk about some of the governance issues in high school athletics. This week, our focus on the college sport. So all the contents for this week, you can find out information here. You go to your Canvas, you'll be able to see in Module 3, week 11, we have a governance in intercollegiate athletics. You can click on the pages here. So for this week, we're going to basically talking about 3 governing bodies in college sports, including NCAA, NAIA, and NJCAA. So our main focus is to study about NCAA. So a lot of information about NAIA and NJCAA, you'll be able to go and look at from the textbooks. So for the NCAA, we're going to introduce their organizational structure. So they are using 2 organizational structure. First one is called associate-wide structure. Another one is called division-specific structures. If you're gonna spend time watching the lecture videos, you should be able to get this content. The textbook also provide you a pretty solid explanation in terms of what associate-wide structure means and what division-specific structure means. We know NCAA has 3 divisions. All the members has been classified into Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the basic requirements, the differences between D1, D2, and D3 schools. Particularly, we spend time to talk about D1 school. We have a FBS school, FCS school, and some schools that do not sponsor football at all. So we look at the differences in these different schools based on the requirements. We're also going to talk about some competitive balance rules has been introduced in college sports, particularly include their limit the numbers of the athletic scholarships, making sure the individual institutions not having all the talents in one place. Right? They also introduce eligibility rules, making sure the colleges athletes, they're not just able to play sport, but also they need to be very strong in academics. And also they prohibit, would not say prohibit, but they don't encourage it, transfers. They don't encourage athlete transfer from one institution to another institutions for playing for sports. So those are those would say competitive rules of strategy has been utilized in the college sport in order to enhance the competition's levels. And also in the policy area, we are going to focus on 3 policy. First one is eligibility rules, and the second one is a Title IX. I'm going to provide a little bit more explanation about Title IX in the lectures. And the last one is about amateurization rules. So you can go and watch the videos later. In terms of reading, there are 2 very important reading I would recommend you to do. First one is the textbook chapter A. The second one is this article written by John Solomon. It's about history behind the debates over paying NCAA athletes. And also if you have time, I also encourage you go and watch the conversation with current NCAA's president, Mark Emmert. This video is about 40 minutes long. If you're interested, you can go and spend some time, watching this video and also get to know a little bit about his perceptions towards the developments of the college sports in the United States. We also have videos for the lectures that has been included in 2 parts. First part that mainly focuses on governance structure in college sport, and second part is about the policy areas in college sports. Here is a lecture notes. Right. For the assignment, you have to do 2 assignments for this week. First one is online quizzes, on the due date is a Friday night at midnight. So the recommendation from me is if you want to have excellent performance in the online quizzes, you really need to go and watch the videos, lecture videos, and also you really need to go and read this reading that I ask you to read. So if you're able to watch the videos and read the reading, you should be able to have a fantastic performance when you're working on the second quiz. Again, second quiz is also giving you 20 minutes to work on it. A lot of multiple choice questions, have true and false questions. They also have a 2 short answer questions. And the second thing you have to do is online discussion. So the online discussions are going to help you understand a little bit about the Title IX. So the college sport Title IX have 3-prong tests. So we'll provide a little bit more explanation about this 3-prong test. So for the online discussion, again, that include 2 parts, right? So the first part is the initial post, and the due date is Wednesday night at midnight. The second one is you have to respond to another students in the class. The due date is April 10 at midnight, which is the Friday night at midnight. Right. So for this case study, you can look at, I divided you guys into 7 groups. So I combine 2 classes together. Each group will have about 10, 11 students. So I'll give you more opportunity to get to know a little bit each other's, and also give you a little bit of opportunity to work with different students every time. So this is a case study. Here's a case study. You can download this. Case study is not very long, six pages. You can go and read this case study. This is actually a case study coming from a real case, right? So there are 3 questions you have to go and answer, right? To comply with the Title IX, the university need to add a women's sports. So I will encourage you to go and conduct some researches to go and recommend what women's sport would you like to add it to the current athletic programs in order to comply with the Title IX. So the first thing I would recommend you to do is you're going to read the case study, and also create a map a little bit, look at how many male scholarships they have been offering, how many female scholarships they have been offering based on the Title IX rules, the 3-prong test we will talk about in the class. You look at, which Title IX rule that you can comply with, and also how many more female scholarships that you need to create for in the athletic programs, right? So you need to go and do some research. Think about these universities located in Iowa. So I would recommend you to go and look at, among all these high school girls in Iowa, what kind of sport are getting popular, what kind of sport should we add it to our current athletic programs, how many scholarships should we add. When you come up with the idea, you also need to provide explanations about how much it will cost if we're going to add these programs, right? When you try to calculate the cost or estimate the costs, you have to think about how many scholarships are you going to offer, and coach's salary. You have to think about travels. You have to think about the equipments and all that kind of stuff. So you need to come up with the basic idea about how much money that you have to spend for adding this sport to the current athletic program. So that's the first question. Second question is, when you come up with the idea, when you submit this proposal to the presidents, you will also have to justify the idea, right? So you have to think about what kind of information that you need to provide to persuade those stakeholders, including university presidents, coaches for other teams, alumni, and students and faculty and staff, right? So you will have to think about what would be their major concern when adding this particular sport. So that's the second question you will have to go and justify. The third one is you need to come up with a creative way that university can offset the cost of adding a new sport to the current athletic program. So those are 3 questions that you have to answer for these case studies. Again, this case study includes 2 parts, right? So first part, you will have to go and write your own answers. And the second part is you're going to interact with other students, another 2 students. When I'm done grading with the first online discussion, one of the big problem is I think about 10%, 20% of students only provide your own answers, but they forgot to respond to the other students' answers. So make sure you do both parts if you want to get these 20 points. Okay, so this is about the online discussion too. Right, so for this week, again, we have an online quiz and also online discussion. If you have any other questions, email is still the best way to get hold of me. All right, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope that you have a wonderful week. We'll see you guys next time.